So for now, we are going to take a look at one example of how a drug affects the body. After these videos, there will be an interactive exercise and more detailed videos so you can look more deeply into how brain neurotransmission is affected by drugs. So let's talk about nicotine. The major active compound in cigarette smoke is nicotine. Nicotine inhaled in cigarette smoke enters the bloodstream via the lungs and it's widely distributed in the body. Nicotine reaches the brain within seconds after cigarette smoke is inhaled. Nicotine acts as nicotinic receptor agonist and activates the specific neurochemical systems in the brain. Some of these systems include the dopamine and opioid reward systems. Long-term activation of dopamine and opioid reward systems contribute to nicotine dependence. Nicotine inhaled from a cigarette is normally excreted from the body after about 15 minutes, and this explains the need for another cigarette. You can see that these drugs all have very different ways of altering the way our brain works. People will use them for very different reasons. For example, to party, to reduce anxiety, or cope with previous trauma. We need to understand these reasons to be able to help people effectively. Just taking away the drug from the equation does not solve the problems around why someone became addicted or helps them cope with life stress. Risks can be caused by the drug's effect on the body or by the way they are taken. Injecting drugs clearly adds to the risk of infectious disease like HIV and hepatitis C. An additional risk is that when we talk about illegal drugs, people don't actually know what they are consuming and how much. For example, in Australia, ingredients for ecstasy were difficult to get due to effective policing. Manufacturers just put other stimulants or filling in the pills. This may be effective at much lower dose or have a very different risk profile.